have you ever heard such comments such as too young, too naive, especially by the girls at your age?
Well, yeah, boys and girls are different in developmental process as well as time and maturity. Actually, the brain development of girls is faster than that of boys.
You reminded me of a report I've read. Researchers use technologies such as MRI to study the structure and function of human brains, boys, girls, at different stages. It radically changes our thinking about how human brains develop. It's not all over in your childhood. It continues to develop into your 20s and even into your 30s.
Can you just give me more details about that? In my opinion, I think that early childhood is the most significant period for development.
There is a zone in our brain called prefrontal cortex, in which it is closely related to our cognitive abilities, such as controlling emotions, making decisions, and social communication. And there is a study on gray matter in the cerebral cortex, a major component of the central nervous system, containing cell bodies and connections between cells, the synapses. It is found that during adolescence, there is a significant decline in gray matter volume in prefrontal cortex.
A significant decline? What does it mean?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, gray matter contains cell bodies and connections between cells, the synapses, right? This decline in gray matter volume during prefrontal cortex is thought to correspond to synaptic pruning, the elimination of unwanted synapses, which is really important developmental process, and is partly dependent on the environmental that with the animal or the human is in, as the synapses that are being used are strengthened, and the synapses that aren't being used in that particular environment are pruned away.
I think the environment in which people or children grow up is always different, but they share some similarities with that of other children. Therefore, people's attitude towards something, trend or political action, for instance, is largely influenced by what they have in common with our society and their own personal experiences.
From this perspective, it seems that people with similar experiences tend to end up like good, best friends, even for their entire life.
Yeah, so elementary education is really important. People with different experiences may develop different personalities and abilities.
What's more, the time of the peak of gray matter in prefrontal cortex is different for boys and girls. It happens a couple of years later in boys relative to girls because boys experience their puberty a couple of years later than girls on average.
Well, that's exactly why girls at your age always comment that you are too young, too naive, and they usually have strong desire for protecting their younger brother.
Well, I always regard my younger brother as a child.
Many producers usually seize this opportunity to produce and design TV series that you catering for a different audience.
Yeah, that's interesting.